You never know what you'll find in the universe of my mind. Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind for me when you talk about nostalgia is the trailer. When I was very little, we lived there, and I'm sure that this is not accurate, but this is what is in my memory, in my head. So there was the trailer, of course. I don't think I got the color right, but anyway. And the forest in behind, and around here there was a clubhouse thing that my cousin friend and I built together. Back there was a well. I had a swing attached to the end of the trailer. There was a big window here, and we'd often see deer and such in this area. And like it went further that way, and the doghouse here was further that way too, but and the forest was there too. I think a lot of that foresty stuff might be cut down now, but anyway. And here there was like a hill back here, and I kept thinking there were monsters back there, so I wouldn't go there too far around here alone. And there was a little pond, or a big puddle or something, with a piece of wood in the middle of it. And I'm sure that I did not put this in the right place in relation to where the trailer is. Like it was more here, probably, like more in line here, because my brother and his family stayed in a bus back here for a little while or something, and this was there to mount the bus on or something. And behind the trailer there was an extension that my father was building, but he never finished it. Anyway, and then this represents my banana seat bike, but I'm terrible at drawing bikes and things like that, and also it was too small, so I messed it up, but it represents it anyway. And this was the tree near the opening of the driveway that I would wait for the bus at, and there was a big stone, and I would pick tiny flowers and give them to my mom. They're my favorite flower because of the memory. They're tiny wild violets, and the dog's name was Snoopy. And at one point we even had, like, further that way, we even had a nanny goat. And I'm pretty sure that the driveway was not this long, but yeah. Anyway, that's the best I can do for this type of drawing. But there are so many memories. Well, yeah, it's inside jokes and stuff. But anyway, there was a turtle involved, so I put a turtle there to represent that. And across the street there was our neighbor and my cousin Edward, who lived there, and he had a dog named Rex, and he had a horse named Midnight, and me and my friends would often go over to his property and play, and I sometimes would ride Midnight and stuff. Anyway, so many memories from this time of my life. My sister and I, and sometimes our cousins would go and bike to the lake that was that way, and we would swim for a good part of the day and then come back. And there are lots of fun memories and jokes about my sister and I being on the bike and having tubes, inner tubes for floating on the water in our towels and etc. And it was funny, but I'm terrible at telling stories like that. But anyway, yeah, there you go. Also, I just stuck this very old, probably older than me, sticker. It's a scratch and sniff, and when we lived here, I collected stickers. I still have my collection, and the scratch and sniffs were like big deal back then, and surprisingly, these still smell a little bit. They still have a little bit, especially the apple one here. It still has the sniff part of the scratch and sniff. And I considered putting all of these, but I decided to go with just that one and that one. But yeah, and there are, so many memories from here. I could be here for days talking about all the memories from here. My mom had a hot house. She grew. One of my favorite things she grew in there was Tiny Tim tomatoes. And I can't remember the type of lettuce, but there was a really yummy type of lettuce that she would plant in there. And yeah, we called it a hot house, but I think it's called a greenhouse or something. Anyway, yeah, so many memories. Also, when we lived here, everybody, including my father, was still alive. And so, yeah, a lot of people are not with us anymore, so it's kind of bittersweet. One fine day at Old Nostril Pond. What's that green stuff in the pond? That's nostalgia. Franklin also did our wedding day for nostalgic memory. Boom, no, no. Storage unit. It's made up, but it sure would be cool if it were real, especially for that price. Create nonsensical creatures. This is Safla the Flumpy. This is Sue the Sorpin. This is Nover the Pois. This is Peachy Bee. I forgot to take a photo before I did this because Moriah had an illustration. You can see it, but anyway, there you go. Peachy Bee. I don't know what species this is. And this is Warim the Bochnus. This is Roly Poly the Baloo. This is the Shloom. This is Vio the Drynos. This is Guti the Flydro. And this is Pico the Puff. I kind of regret putting the wings on, but there you go.
Blech. Grapefruit. Blech.
So this one is completely messed up. And I didn't think straight, but I have a plan for the wings. but these are kind of weak and keep folding up and stuff. So I'm going to put some packing tape and then recut them. So it proved to be very challenging. The X-Acto knife didn't really want to cut through the packing tape very well, but I managed to eventually. And I mean, they're not perfect, but they're good enough. This one's my favorite one of how they turned out. that's it for this episode.